Hello and welcome back. This is Steve from SkiCoachingOnline, and in this video we're going to look at how to ski parallel, but more importantly, how to keep your skis closer together. So this is a common question we get asked with people that ski around and they watch videos of themselves and they can see that their stance just doesn't look natural. So when we say closer together, we actually want to be how our body is laid out. So we want to ski a bit more naturally for how we're made up. And what we want to do is, instead of trying to stand on 2 feet, we want to be able to balance more on our outside foot. What that'll do then, that'll enable this inside leg to fall kind of how it wants to fall in your body makeup, which then will look a bit more natural for how your body sits. So as we're skiing down here, one of the things I'm thinking of is I'm just trying to be a bit more active in getting onto that new outside foot. So as you can see, I'm standing on a hill here, so it's a red slope. I'm on a pretty mellow bit of it, but you can see that this leg here, my uphill leg, or if I was making a turn, my inside leg, that's more flex than my outside one. So if I want to then go the other way, this one then has to extend, okay, to get a little bit longer. And in the process of doing that, I can feel my weight shift onto it. So I can feel all of my weight move onto this new leg. To help me out, I actually flex the other leg slightly too. So as I'm extending my new outside ski, I flex this inside ski. And what that does, that enables me then to be almost in this position. This is what it feels like I'm doing, but I'm actually not. Obviously the skis are on the snow, but in my body, I'm actively extending the outside leg whilst flexing the inside one. What that does, it puts me more towards my outside ski. There's another thing to think of as well, tactically. If you've ever been ever been in a car, and when you're going around the corner, you feel like you're getting pushed to the outside of the car. Like if you ever, ski quite, you're ever driving quite fast and the car turns and it feels like you're getting pulled to the outside of the car. It's the same when skiing. If I'm going quite fast here, okay, and then as I extend that outside leg, it feels quite heavy, quite early, because I'm going quite fast down the hill. So when you're skiing around, if you find that your stance or your skis, you're kind of stuck in that plow, or it's quite wide like this, get some area that you're comfortable with, take the speed up a notch, okay? Again, only do this on an area you're comfortable and it's nice and flat like here, and then practice extending that new outside leg until you feel that all of your weight is on it and balanced on it. And what that'll give you is give you a little bit more balance on that leg, give you definitely a bit more strength through this part of the corner, and it will enable then an outcome will be that your skis will sit a more natural distance apart. Look at a tip to help intermediate skiers kind of push through that plateau that they might be finding. So what we see is that when there's a lot of skiers skiing around at the area where they're just about skiing parallel most of the time, they can ski most piste runs, but maybe when the speed increases or the pitch gets a bit steeper or the terrain isn't perfectly groomed, they tend to struggle and maybe revert back to a bit of a snowplow coming down the hill. So one thing that we find a lot is, like, as I'm skiing down this hill here, so my right foot is the one that's furthest down the hill. That's the one that essentially is hugging onto the mountain, and that's tipping over, and that's the one stopping me falling that way, okay? That feels good, okay? That's what gives me some control and makes me feel comfortable skiing down this slope. But there's got to be a moment where I need to let that go, and I need to actually feel the feeling of falling down the slope. So on Toy Story, Buzz Lightyear talks about flying, but that he's not flying, he's just falling with style. So at the start of the turn, that's what I want us to think of, okay? And one way to practice that is to stand on the side of the slope here. So I'm with my left foot now down the slope. And with this big toe, I'm just gonna try and lift it off of the snow And what that does, that allows my ski to roll more flat, which then allows me to slide down the hill. Again, I can roll it back up onto the big toe, that's fine, and I'll come to a stop. So it's all very safe. Also, it's nice and quiet this morning. So as I'm coming here, again, big toe, lift up that left big toe, that'll find that my ski rolls flat. And what happens then, I start to slide down the hill. Okay, if I incorporate that with trying to stand on my new outside ski, what will happen then is it'll feel like I just have nothing stopping me then going down the slope, which is great because then I don't have to fight anything. I can just fall with style, a bit like Buzz Lightyear. So that's the thing I want us to think of at the start of the turn. Okay, instead of it being a fight, just think, okay, I need to release that old outside leg by maybe lifting that big toe up. If I have a bit of a sliding sensation, that's fine, but then that allows me to move nice and smoothly into the new turn with parallel skis. This will give you loads more benefits too, such as like a rounder turn. The ski will spend more time moving forwards. This will help you a bunch when you go onto kind of off-piste terrain or when you're skiing down steeper runs like that, okay? So definitely, you know, tip the skis over and get some control through the end of the turn, for sure. That's where we feel nice and safe. But then just remember that actually I need to then release that ski to be able to do that the other side, okay? And to practice it, get a bit of a side slip going, and then practice doing it both ways as well. It's very normal for one way to feel more comfortable than the other, but give it a go. Next time you're on the hill, let me know how it goes. This is Steve from SkiCoachingOnline, and in this video, it's a quick tip on how to ski parallel more consistently, but also how to have a bit more flow down the hill. You know, when you watch those good skiers skiing around, you look at them and it just kind of looks effortless. There's a way that you can think about that. I think about it as there's two ways you can ski. You can ski offensively, like attacking, or you can ski defensively. And you have a little think about which one of those categories you would put yourself in. So the way I like to describe it is, if at the end of the turn, okay, so for example, if I'm making some turns, so here's the end of a turn, and here's the end of a turn, and here's the end of a turn here. So if at the end of the turn, my next move is to move myself or my ski back up the hill, okay, like this, or if I'm here, or if I'm like this, that's a defensive way of skiing, okay? I've already skied down there, I don't need to go back that way. Whereas if you think offensively, okay, that's me moving the tips of my skis down the hill, that's me moving my hands and my head and my butt down into the next turn. So what I want you to think as you're skiing around is, do you make offensive moves down the hill, or are you defensively staying where you've just been? So I'll show you as we ski around. So if I'm skiing down here and I make a defensive move, such as moving this away, back up the hill, okay, or I'm thinking about moving my bum around like that. So what you notice is that my skiing is getting a bit labored. I'm kind of stopping and starting a lot, okay? Whereas if I ski offensively, and I'm thinking about moving more of me down the hill, my tips go down the hill, it's not necessarily a speed thing. What it is, it just adds a bit more flow from one turn to the next. I'm no longer stopping and starting all the time. I'm moving into the next turn with a bit of flow. So have a think about that when you're next on the hill. Are you a defensive skier, moving everything back up the hill, your skis and your body? Or are you thinking about moving those tips down the hill and moving your hands, your head, your butt, all of that stuff into the next turn? Try it out, let me know how it goes, and I'll catch you in the next one. In this video, we're going to develop the skill of rotation. So that's just basically how much or how little I can twist the ski. I always think of it on a scale of one side of it is being able to twist the ski lots and lots and lots, and on the other side is not twisting the ski at all. That's the spectrum when it comes to rotation. So as we go down here, we can try it in a little bit of a snowplowy type turn if you like, but once we start, I'm just going to lift up that inside ski and see if I can end with my outside tip underneath my inside tip. So as we look from above here, as I come through the end of that corner, I can really feel my outside leg bending and also twisting in the direction that I want to go. So if I'm turning to the right here, that tip of my outside ski is gonna go and move right underneath that inside tip. What I feel is, I feel quite a strong flex in my legs here. So that way then when I'm then skiing around and I continue to ski down this slope with my both skis on the ground, I know what it feels like and how much I need to move my legs or tense my legs to bring those ski tips around the corner. So give this a try when you're next out on the hill. Just have a little feel of what does it actually feel like to move the tips of those skis around the mountain. Give it a play, let me know how it goes, and I'll catch you in the next one.